Hello all, I am Vaishnavi Churi. I am from Yash Vidhya Niketan, Virar East. I am your science teacher. I am going to teach you science part 2. Today we are starting with our first lesson, lesson number 1, heredity and evolution.
Okay. Now, when we talk about evolution, there are many scientists, many researchers who have put forward their theories about evolution. The most accepted theories you must be knowing that is by Charles Darwin. Charles Darwin theory of survival of fittest you all must be knowing. Now Darwin, he had published a book titled Origin of Species. He had traveled a world. On his world tour, he had studied many species, many plants, many animals, and then he published his book that is Origin of Species. He keenly, thoroughly studied all these living organisms, and then he put forward his some views in his book. Now, when he put forward the theory of natural selection, so what Charles Darwin says in this theory is only those organisms sustains which show the modification essential for winning the competition. There is a competition among all the animals for their survival. Who wants to survive? They have to win the competition. If they lose the competition, they will extinct. They will perish. They cannot sustain. So, if you want to sustain, if you want to be in the race, you have to win the race, right? But besides this, it's not only you, or it's not only your efforts. If you win the race and you can sustain, no, but there is a other criteria as well. So besides this, natural selection, nature selects someone for to be or not to be. So besides this, natural selection also plays an important role because nature selects only those organisms which are fit to live and best to perish. Okay, so of course that living organism has to it has to strive the race, it has to win the race, it has to struggle, compromise, adjust, and then only that organism can exist. But the nature also select those who can fit. Nature select those who can survive and others get perish. So this theory of natural selection shows that this is not just evolution, but it is the animals also, or the living organisms also, who sustain because they could win the competition, and also because the nature selected them. Okay, so natural selection, theory of natural selection tells us that instead of um, instead of just being uh, instead of the modifications which are essential for winning the competition organisms sustain, but natural selection also plays an important role in the existence of living organisms. But some objections were raised against this theory. Because of that, there were uh, some doubts were raised, and this theory was not, we can say, disapproved, but yes, some flaws were there which had been answered by some other scientists in their further theories. But still, Darwin's theory is well accepted because it has widely covered major concept, major what you can say, the possibilities of evolutions. Okay. Now, next theory which was proposed on the basis of evolution was Lamarckism. Now, Lamarckism is a theory which was proposed by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. So, the name of the scientist Lamarck, it is given itself to the theory, it is Lamarckism. Now, Jean-Baptiste Lamarck is the one who proposed this theory. He says that morphological changes occurring in living organisms are responsible for evolution. Now, you can see here this diagram. You can see here this picture. There's two giraffe you can see. Now, one giraffe who is shorter in height and the one who is having the longer neck. So what has happened that according to Lamarckism, according to this Lamarck theory, he said that he had explained that this giraffes were having the short neck like other animals, but as they like to have the leaves of the higher plants, they used to stretch their necks, and that's why they use their necks in such a way that their necks started, the length of the neck started increasing. Okay, and that's why, because of the use of neck, giraffe got the longest neck. Okay, because they use that a particular organ, because they this morphological changes occurred, and then they this evolutionary changes had occurred, and giraffe has got now the long neck. Okay, so the reason behind this morphological change is activities. Like I said, giraffe used to eat the leaves at the higher plant, so the neck starts stretch. Okay, so it was stretching continuously, and that's why this length got increased. So this is because of the activities or the laziness. If you don't use any organ, then that organ is going to be, either degenerate, yeah, or you can say it will be non-functional. So if you use any particular organ continuously, okay, now when we talk about, you should have the writing practice so that you will have the good writing speed, or some other examples. So if you use any particular organ for particular activities, then it can be like, that organ gets skilled. Or if you don't use because of your laziness, then that organ is going to be non-functional. And this concept of the use or disuse of the organs is called Lamarchism. Okay, this was proposed by Jean-Baptiste Lamarck. Similarly, if you see some other examples of Lamarckism where the shoulders of Iron Smith, now what is the activity Iron Smith is continuously doing is the hammering. So he uses his shoulder for the hammering any objects or any metals. So because of continuous activity, this iron smith's shoulder, you must have observed, that becomes very strong, right? So this use of particular organ, use of shoulder, we can say this particular activity, it makes his shoulder strong. Similarly, now when we talk about, we saw the example of use of the organ, but if we see disuse of the organ, now you must have observed ostrich or emu, right? They have long legs, but they also have feathers. But they have you seen them flying in the sky with the help of wings? So no, they don't fly like they. Although they have wings of the birds like other birds, but they don't fly because their wings have become weak. Because they are not using their wings, they just use their legs to run. So this disuse of wing, it shows that their wings, the strength of the wing has become low. They have become weak because of the disuse of wing. The next example, when we talk about the legs of the birds, like a swan or the duck. Now you find duck or the swan in the swimming in the water. Their legs are the webbed. Okay, so they don't use their legs on the for the walking or for the running on the land. They mostly staying on the water, and they're swimming. So because of this, they use their legs for the paddling purpose, and that's why they got the webbed legs. Okay, so these are the modifications which are done in their particular organs. Now all these examples are type of acquired characters. Acquired characters are they have either used or disused in particular organ, and that's why they have acquired these characters. And these characters are transferred from one to the other generation, and this is called the theory of inheritance or acquired characters, or Lamarckism. Now, Lamarckism says that all these acquired characters are inherited, they are passed on to the next generation. But this is not actually happening, right? So development of organs due to specific activities or their degeneration due to no use at all was widely accepted, but transfer of those characters from generation to generation was rejected. Now when we talk about Iron Smith, he is continuously hammering any object and that's why his shoulder have become strong. But not necessary that his next generation will have the strong shoulders. Not necessary his son or the whatever the next generation they will have the strong shoulder because he has got this acquired character. So this theory got disapproved here. Although modification or acquired characters was accepted, but this inheritance phenomena was rejected. And because it had been verified many times that modification brought in us are not transferred to next generation, thereby Lamarck theory was disapproved. Okay, so you can expect short note on this Darwin's theory of natural selections, short note on Lamarchism, and next very important topic, that is human evolution. Now human evolution, when we talk about, so human is evolved, yes, it is evolved from monkeys, it is evolved from apes, yes, but when the life started, as I told you that life started existing on earth from the simple unicellular organism, that is primitive cell. So started human or human like animal, that is apes or monkey like animals, started existing on the earth around 7 crore years ago when dinosaur appeared. So last dinosaur disappeared approximately 7 crore years ago, and then the monkey like animal starts evolving. Okay, so human evolution started approximately 7 crore years ago. Now these monkey-like animals are said to be evolved from some ancestor who were more or less to the modern lemurs. Okay, now here you will understand how this monkey or different types of monkey had evolved and how from monkey to ape to the human, how these things had been done and how much time it had taken. You have to remember all the particular numbers or the particular years properly when you write the answer. So this 7 crore years ago the human evolution started, it began. That time the tail of these monkeys like this tail of this monkey like animals of Africa is said to be disappeared around 4 crore years ago. So tell of this monkey like animals from Africa. So it has started from Africa. It tail got disappeared around 4 crore years ago. 7 crore years ago, the lemurs, the monkey like animals, have evolved. Then they developed due to the enlargement in the brain and their hands or were improved, and thus ape like animals were evolved. It has got this changes had got time, like first monkey like animal, then the tail got disappeared, then the development of brain, development of limbs, 4 limbs. So this ape-like animal reached to the South and Northeast Asia and finally evolved into the gibbon and orangutan. So once this monkey-like animals started moving from one region to the other region, there were modification. There was an evolution, right? This remaining ape-like animals stayed in Africa, and from them gorilla and chimpanzees evolved around 2.5 crore years ago. Okay, so 7 crore, then 4 crore, then 2 crore, 2.5 crore. Okay, then gradually their lumbar bones developed in such a way that they started to stand in erect posture. Initially, they were walking on 4 limbs, right? The 2 forelimbs and the 2 hind limbs. So they were using the hands and legs. But once the development of lumbar bone had occurred, the man like the monkey like structure got the erect position, erect posture. Okay, so that animal could able to stand. This first human-like animal with erect posture, which were used their hands, have evolved around 2 crore years ago. Once that man-like animal started using the legs to stand, his hands were free for doing any other activities. That had occurred around 2 crore years ago. First record of human-like animal is with us in the form of Ramapithecus ape from East Africa. Okay, so first human-like ape, which is a Ramapithecus, it is from East Africa, where he got approx like erect posture. Afterwards, this ape grown up in the size and became more intelligent, and this ape of South Africa evolved around 40 lakh years ago. The evolution, the gradual changes were happening continuously. Even today, the evolution is happening. Evolution is continuous, it is slow, it is gradual development. So these changes were happening even during that time. So first we got the monkey-like structure, tailbone disappeared, then tail disappeared, then the brain got developed, then we started, standing, the erect posture. Further development had occurred. So because of the erect posture, hands were free. So hands got doing many other activities. Also, the brain development was there. So around 20 lakh years ago, the skilled human was developed. Okay. Brain of 50,000-year-old man had been sufficiently evolved to the extent that it could be considered a member of class wise man, that is Homo sapien. We belong to Homo sapiens sapiens, right? So Homo sapien class, that the 50,000-year-old man had got brain which was um, developed. It was developed enough that it was belonging to some wise man, some man having a intelligence. So it belongs to Homo sapiens. Next comes the Neanderthal man, that can be considered first example of wise man. You can see here Ramapithecus is the erect posture, then the next Homo sapien, then the comes is a Neanderthal man, which was the first example of wise man. He was wise man because he was not like other animals. He was doing some other activities which differentiated him from other animals. Okay, so he was using his brain for some or the other activities which are differentiating, which are making him different from other animals. So it is a wise man, Neanderthal. Okay, the Cro-Magnon man evolved about 50,000 years ago, and afterwards this evolution had been faster than the earlier. Earlier it was very slow, but after this Cro-Magnon man, then the evolution was a bit faster. Here you can see the journey of the man. Here you can see it has started from Lemur to the Egyptopithecus, then the Drypithecus, Ramapithecus, then Australopithecus, skilled human, and Neanderthal man and Cro-Magnon man. Then you must be knowing that the man, the Homo sapiens sapien, right? So it started using the concept of agriculture, concept of industrialization, and so on. And then the development of its brain, its skills is continuous, and this is the way the human evolution occurred around 7 crore years ago. So what we look like now, we have started our evolution around 7 crore years back, and still it is on. So maybe after thousands of years, the human may look different. It may have some other features, might be, we don't know. So here we complete our lesson. I hope you all have understood what is heredity, what is evolution. Okay, so I finish this lesson here, and thank you.